Hello?
Um, what the hell?
All right, so sorry for the delay, everyone, but we are good to go for our next speech class. So, as we know, this is our 10th and final speech class, and we will kind of be ending off with some speech contest skills and stuff like that. So, apologies for the internet mistake or the internet break that happened beforehand, but everything should be fixed now. And I guess we can just start this class. So, welcome everybody to our 10th and final future speech class. Thanks for sticking for us throughout these entire 10 classes. I hope you've learned quite a lot. And as promised, we will try to go through things faster today, so we do have time to play a game. So the way that we'll play the game is basically all the presenters, so not the watchers, unfortunately, because we do not have enough time, get to select the game, and we can play a game involving everybody, such as a balloon game or the cellar game. Unfortunately, not being able to play rapid fire because that would take too long. So, we should be able to play a game today, if we get through things quite fast. So, as always, we'll be talking again about impromptu skills, and the first thing and the only thing we'll be talking about today will be about contest format, okay? So a lot of the older classmates and a lot of the older students will already know a lot about contest format, but it's a good review because there hasn't been a lot of contests now, and a lot of people might need a refresher. So, contest format is basically what we're going to talk about is how to enter a contest, how you do well in it, and stuff like that. Alrighty. So, the first slide will be about schedule, okay? So, the schedule, and the first thing you're going to have to do to attend a tournament is going to be registration, okay? So, the main thing about registration is basically how to enter a contest. Like, how do you enter a contest for speech and how do you win one? So that's going to be the questions we're mainly going to be answering today. So the first thing you want to do with registration is going to be to find a school, okay? I do believe that all of you guys are inside a school, and that people have teachers who are capable of giving them registrations to speech contests. Now, something that I do want you guys to be advised of is that speech contests in school registration are usually only restricted to junior high level students. So that would be grade 7 and up. So some of you may not be able to go to an official speech tournament this year, but perhaps next year, perhaps next year, you will be able to. So one of the first things I want to talk about is basically how to basically contact a school to get you into a tournament. And if you're in a junior high school, although most of you are not, you basically go to the speech teacher or a speech club. You ask the teacher for a form, they will give you a form, and that's that. But if you guys want to kind of go to a tournament without going under as a school, you can go to the ADSA website, okay? So ADSA stands for Alberta Speech and Debate Association. I will type it in chat, ADSA. So if you go on there, you can find some registration sheets and you can find some other things that you want to do for registration to kind of enter a tournament if you guys are interested. So that's the first thing with the registration. So that's how to get in a tournament, and there's another kind of registration phase inside the tournament. So you got yourself into the tournament and you're at the place. The tournament locations will usually be in another school or another area like that. Once you get into the building, there will be another phase of registration where they have like a big sheet of paper like with grids, and they'll kind of check you off. And that's kind of the first thing you want to do so that they know that you're here and that you can attend. So that's basically it for registration. Right after registration, you'll usually have a meal. Now, this is apparently where I get a lot of comments because people keep on asking me about meals, and a lot of people keep on asking me what they're like and if the food is good. So basically, to summarize this, they will give you catered food. So either if it's from their own cafeteria or from a place like Subway or some pizza places, that's usually going to be the food that they give you. And usually this food, they will give you 2 meals in a day: dinner, lunch, breakfast, but never dinner. And they will also give you snacks such as cookies and stuff. But don't get your hopes up, because the meals are not as good as perhaps like a official perhaps tournament for something else like that. Because even though there's a lot of people attending and they all have to pay fees, they're usually going to spend most of it towards their foundation. So meals, mostly just snacks and different types of catered food. So now on to the more speechy stuff. So this is basically covering stuff about other things, but now here's what we're going to do. And please do pay attention, because as you all know, we're going to have a tournament in the near future, hosted by an in-house tournament hosted by us, and it's going to take form in a similar way. So basically, we're going to have a lockdown room. Now, a lot of people may not be familiar with what a lockdown room is. Maybe you're familiar with the word lockdown in a school, like where like the principal will say lockdown, lockdown, and all you guys have to stay in your classrooms. That's kind of it, basically. You have to stay in a room and not go out. The reason is because somebody might cheat and somebody might get a topic ahead of time. So so that's basically the reason why we have lockdown rooms. So here's how it's gonna go. You've registered, you've eaten up your first meal, and you want to do impromptu. This is specifically for impromptu. They will usually give you a sheet or a map of the school, and you'll go to a lockdown room. There will be all of the people attending impromptu with all of the supervisors seeing that nobody leaves the room. So that's the lockdown room. Now, the next thing is about preparation. Once you're in lockdown room, you get to stay there and you get to chat with other people. And when you do chat with other people, you get to kind of wait it out until it's your turn. Once it's your turn to prepare, you kind of get a notice from the teacher. You kind of get guided to the preparation room, which is also kind of more private. In that room, they will give you a piece of paper and a pen, and it's okay if you brought your own, and you get to write notes about a topic that they gave you for 5 minutes, and then once it's done, you will be kind of guided to a classroom where you would then present it. And when you do present, you have to kind of say your speech, and then you have to sit down in that room without kind of going out. And yes, our tournament is on Zoom. Thank you for asking. So, well, I'll kind of go over that with a more Zoom standpoint. Once you present, you sit down in your classroom and you stay there. And basically, how you kind of present is present in a formal manner, because it is not a casual thing for official tournaments, but we can afford to be more flexible in our own in-house one. So there will be parent judges and stuff like that. So that's basic presentation, and the last thing I'll explain for you today is round system. So usually there are going to be 2 to 3 rounds of impromptu, all with different topics and all with the same process. So just to summarize, you get into the building, you register, check off your name, you eat a meal, you go to the lockdown room so nobody cheats, you go to the preparation room once your name is called, and then you present in that room, you stay in that room until the next round, where you'll then repeat this entire process again. Okay, so do we have any questions? All right, does not seem like we have any questions in chat either. Oh, okay, I'll let you guys unmute your mics because at the start, there's a little bit distracting stuff.
Okay, finally. And Andy, for the your tournament, I know we're gonna follow basically the same process with this, except for like the meals, right?
The reveals or
Meal.
oh, the meals. Yes, we're not gonna have meals. But it's basically the same process, yes, except with breakout rooms instead of rooms, and we as judges instead of parent judges. Why can't they just lock the room? Because, well, they can, but that's kind of unjustified because they do need a supervisor to tell when it's somebody's turn.
And so someone could take a pin and just break out.
Right.
Are we going to one place or like are we just going to go to Zoom?
This is a Zoom tournament, so because of coronavirus, we're not going to rent a place out, but we're just going to have it on Zoom with breakout rooms, such as a breakout room called Lockdown Room and a room called Presentation, something like that. So it's going to be similar, but not exactly the same.
Okay.
Do we have any more questions? So I'm trying to get through this fast, so it might seem like I'm being a little bit uptight, but it's just that we have to get through this quick so you guys can get some games.
Oh, you seem like we want to be for some reason. Who pays to be?
Okay.
Is it like always gonna be on Zoom or in the future will you rent like a place out?
For now, we're thinking about just staying on Zoom. So hopefully that answers all of you guys' questions. And I guess we can, so that's just basically the schedule for a contest. Kind of bland, not very interesting.
Andy?
Yes?
So like my school is Westman Charter, right? If I want to go there, I don't think there is a speech club, but there is a debate club. Do I go there?
So usually, because schools will have different systems, you go to the principal and you kind of ask for direction from there. You can say, is there any way I can attend a speech tournament? And then the principal should direct you towards a teacher, and that teacher should be able to give you a sheet for registration.
Okay.
Andy?
Yes?
How long minimum do the speeches in the tournament have to be?
There's no minimum. So, like, theoretically, you could literally just stand up, say, hello, my name is, and thank you, that is my speech, and that's your entire speech, and that's not illegal. But you probably won't win like that. So
wait, it's not illegal?
It's not illegal. You can just say one word and sit down, and that's your speech.
Hi.
Yeah, you can just say hi and sit down, and the judges may be surprised, but it's not like it's illegal in the tournament. It's just that you're going to get a very bad score.
Andy, what if you just say, Andy, what if you say you guys are the best in a tournament and you actually win?
That would be judge bias, and a lot of people would complain about that. Yeah, but yeah. So that's basically contest format. Hopefully you guys kind of learned something. So for the people who are not sticking to attend the tournament or our tournament, this might seem a little bit bland, but the next one will actually be about skills now. Well, actually, it's going to be more about ballots, and then you guys can learn from those ballots. Okay, so contest format. The judging system. So the first thing you want to do to win in a tournament is to know your judges. Know your judges, because a lot of people think that they're always going to be the perfect judges and that they're always going to be perfect. Well, the hard truth is that they're parents, okay? And yes, a lot of people there will be, so this is in a real tournament, not our tournament, because I will be judging you along with some of my debate partners. So know your judges. They are parents, mostly there because of their children are speaking there. Because when you do attend a speech tournament, you also have to volunteer your own parents as a judge. So
Do you have to?
you at least have to volunteer one if I'm not incorrect.
That's bad.
Right. So a lot of parents don't want to, so that they're going to be kind of there, and they're just parents, right? So you can't expect them to be completely like an official judge in a court.
Wait, Andy, what
Yes?
if they are lawyers or just official judges? And what if they are judges for official tournaments?
Well, that can happen, but the chances are not very likely. And if it helps to kind of think about, only at the national level will they truly use real judges. But in the provincials and municipal level, you're probably just going to still see parent judges.
What if like a parent like really likes their child, and then when they volunteer to be a judge or whatever you call it, they literally just only vote for their child because it's their child.
Andy explained before in other classes that like those parents can't be the same like judges for their own child. It's like a completely different like place, and so they won't even get to like see their child maybe.
Yeah, so basically they're gonna judge in a bit. They're basically there to kind of judge in a completely different, completely different category of speech. So basically, like, there's going to be something like impromptu, and then some people also may know there's prose and original oratory, which we haven't learned yet. So your parents are probably going to judge a completely different category. So they're not going to judge their children, but the main problem is some children may have parents and their parents may have friends. And if the friends see other people's children, and they kind of might be a bit biased, but that's less than like having the actual parent.
I got a question. What
Yes?
if the parents are just sort of dumb, I guess? Like, for example, they're doing like being a prose judge, okay? And like, hey, what is prose? Is this supposed to be a speech? Why are you talking about a story? And if we're improv, you'll be like, hey, you prepared for 5 months on this. Why are you doing it so badly compared to a person who does it 5 months?
Right,
Yeah.
so that can be a problem, but it won't be a problem in our Zoom meeting because we are all trained speakers. But in a real tournament, yes, that can happen, but they try to mitigate it with something called a judge's briefing, okay? So they'll be told what to do, what the speech style is, and the judges, which is probably your parents or somebody else's parents, will be kind of briefed down and will get their information. So hopefully that won't happen too much. Yes. Okay.
I bet you $1,000 that some parents will be like, what is he doing?
Yeah, so some parents might not be experienced, and this is one of the biggest reasons. We all know that Canada is a diverse country and there's a lot of different immigrants. Not saying that that's bad, but maybe sometimes their language, their English is not their first language, okay? So most of you guys are Asian, and your parents might not speak English as a fluent language, and that can be a problem. So don't use advanced vocabulary, only use descriptive vocabulary and try to make things as clear as possible. This is why I keep on telling you guys to kind of make your titles of your organization very, very blunt so that the judges will know. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is that they're very bored, okay? Imagine having to sit there for almost 4 hours, basically sitting in a chair and listening to speeches. At first, you might be excited, but you're going to get bored. So This can either be an opportunity or a detriment, okay? So you can either take that boredom and completely reverse it with completely shocking facts and shocking stories, and you can use that to your effectiveness. Or if you don't do very well and fill your speeches up with logic, they're going to be bored, you're going to fade into the background, and that's not going to be very good. And that's why being memorable is one of the most important things.
Judges like I need a book or a video game.
Yes, okay. So, and the last reason is going to be that the judges are going to be mixed, right? Maybe one person's extremely good is the other guy's average, and we all know that a lot of people judge harsher than others. Maybe one person says, oh, he tried his best, and give him a good mark. The other person says, oh, that's terrible, and give him a low mark. So it's always going to be a bit mixed. But remember, if you are better than another candidate, you will always be better than them. Because even though one judge may give that person a higher score, if you're better than them, they will give you an even higher score, and vice versa. If they give that person a lower score, they'll give you a slightly lower score if you do well. So don't be afraid of people saying, oh, judges are biased, because they'll have their own values, they'll know that their own scale, and if you're better than a candidate, you'll always emerge victorious. Okay?
Andy,
Yes?
I'm just excited to sit in a chair and wait for someone to finish their 5-day speech.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is very boring, especially for people who can't stand it. Like, they're not allowed to use their phones because they want them to participate and see. I think the only time they really get a true break is during meals. So they will get very bored very quickly. And sometimes even the candidates or not the candidates, but the contestants will even get bored because most of the time it's sitting around not speaking. So it's a lengthy process, but it's worth it in the end if you do well. Okay. And the next thing we're going to be talking about today is the ballots. So here is where it gets interesting, I promise, because looking at the ballots, you guys will finally get to see the judging process. All right, so this is the rules. If you guys want a quick skim of it, if you guys want to take a screenshot, I know some of the older students may have already done that.
Yep.
Yep. The rules, speaker must construct an original speech with the 3 purposes. No more than 10% must be quoted materials. They select a subject which appeal to their audience. So this is invalid for impromptu because this is impromptu / original oratory ballot. During the delivery, notes if a manuscript may be held or referred, but there must be no obvious reading. So you cannot like put your notes to your face and just do that. No, that's not good. A speaker using a manuscript should not be penalized if he does follow this criterion. So you won't be penalized by using notes, but not using notes will also be a bit more impressive. She will remain. Maximum time should be 5 minutes. So I think this is the original oratory ballot, but this can also apply to impromptu because they can just mash 2 ballots in one. But I will kind of take all speech activities will have a 15-second grace, 15 seconds. Yep. So basically, in our tournament, we will have most of the same rules except it's 5 minutes. And you guys can have notes, no penalized, and there's 15-second grace. So that's basically all that there is. If you guys have any questions, please ask, because I'm about to go on to the next slide.
What's a grace? What's grace thing for?
Yeah, so grace, as you think, it's basically like grace is like to give your introduction or conclusion. Notice how instead of using 5 minutes for every speaker, I use 5 minutes 15. It's basically just 15 extra seconds, dressed in fancy words. Yeah. So hopefully that answers the question.
Okay. Yeah, that does.
All right. Thank you. Here's the ranking procedure. This is how they kind of evaluate who is better than who and who deserves an award. So the best and the best. Yeah, like that. So basically, the first thing you want to do is basically you want to select the best speakers for the best speaker, the second best speaker, the third best speaker, and the fourth best speaker, and the eighth best speaker.
That they think themselves, of course.
Yes, so this is for the judges. They will think for themselves that, oh, this person may be the best, even though he's maybe fourth or something. But this is how they kind of discover, they judge basically how well they, this is basically the final vote on who gets an award and who doesn't.
That's not fair.
Some people say it's not, but well, some people prefer a point system, but that's all.
Yes,
but yes, in our tournament, we will be personally using a point system, mostly because a lot of people think it's better, and also because using ranking procedure is a bit harder to kind of calculate the winner.
Yay.
Yeah, so here is.
Will please go back to the page with the rules?
Okay, rules here. Please do be notified that these rules are mainly going to be for oratory, but they can apply to impromptu. So we're gonna have 5 minutes.
Are we just doing impromptu though?
So the way they did these ballots is that they kind of mashed impromptu and original oratory together, because oratory is basically impromptu with big preparation. All right, so I guess I can change it for you guys. I will put this as a 5 minutes just to be sure. If you guys want to take another screenshot of the corrected version, that's also fine.
I changed the words to 5 because it says 7. 5.
Right. Thanks for pointing that out. Will be 5. There we go. And I'll present again. So that's the rules. This is the ranking procedure, and this is the point system. So 1 is did not do well, 2 for poor, for average, for good, for excellent. For this is just they did not do a speech. So basically, like if they did, they just go up and say hi. That would be a 1. So that would be our impromptu. So this is the point system. You can kind of take a picture of this, but this is the more important part. Did the candidate provide an effective introduction? 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5. Logical order, stuff like that. If you want to take a picture, take a picture. This is the ballot that you guys should be more paying attention to, because this is basically how we're going to vote, how to score you in the actual tournament. So you might want to take a screenshot, because this is a lot to note down.
Andy?
Yes?
What does for delivery, the last one, what does the last word mean?
Show poise. Basically, that's kind of a form of professionality instead of being too casual. And it's kind of like you have status, right? It's not like they are talking down to you. It's like you are on the same level or even above the judges. So that's kind of poise, showing kind of being them official and not being too casual, something like that. So if you guys just want to read through it, if you have any questions, please do ask. All right, so I guess we can head on to the last slide for today, which is still about contests, but it's going to be how to do well in a contest, okay? So there's going to be other contestants, but there are no opponents, unlike debate, okay? So do not treat the other contestants as opponents. Instead, grow yourself instead of harming others. So you have to improve yourself instead of taking down the others, such as in debate. So, but you still do have to stay competitive, because otherwise you're not going to win. Just don't treat others like that they didn't do well. Perhaps you don't say, oh, that person kind of cheated, or oh, that person isn't very well, didn't do a good speech, because that'd be taking them down. So you have to stay competitive, but to grow yourself more than you destroy others. So don't push people into the waters. Establish connections. In lockdown period, that's a wonderful time to kind of make new friends, okay? You get to share your knowledge. You can share like what you know about speech and what other people know about speech, because it is basically just a free room to kind of chat. And you get to know your strengths and weaknesses, and you get to get mixed feedback about what you do well and what you don't do well, and you guys can kind of grow together. So establishing connections is quite important. I have actually quite a few friends that I made from impromptu speech, because we kind of sit around while we're not doing anything, and we just get to chat and stuff like that. And the last thing is, be memorable, because there are a lot of different contestants, and if you stick out, you're going to be the one that they remember, and when you become memorable, they focus on your good points. So that is our slides for today. Does anybody have any questions? This is our final slide for the entire 10 speech classes.
Oh no.
What's the prize if you win?
Okay, so the prize if you win Zoom, the Zoom tournament is that,
Right.
yes, you get to tutor others. So if you guys are in a practice class, you get to have a chance to become one of the leaders of those. So you will do your own demonstrations. You should get paid.
Wow!
Yeah, so that's kind of the first prize. You get to become a leader
Is
if
the
you so
payment-
choose.
Is the payment big?
We haven't decided yet.
Not really, because this is just like a friendly
Okay.
tournament, not like a
I
competitive
hope it's
contest.
not gonna be a large.
It's not gonna be like 10
I don't even want that. one.
I have bad teaching skills, dude.
Yeah,
Doesn't
but
mean we get a job.
so basically, it's like if you want to have it, you can. But if you don't, if you just want to omit it, then we'll give the second person opportunity. If they don't want it, we get to give the third. And if the third also doesn't want it, we can also consider giving it the fourth and just going down the list. So
My mom says it's like $100 and then like a $50 red packet thing.
yeah, so quite a lot of money, especially if you like using vending machines at school. That's a lot of snacks. But I would assume that you guys kind of save it up and be very, very mindful of your money.
Oh,
and your
funny.
Save my things.
My mom owes me more money than the prize.
Wow. Okay, that's a
Fun
lot.
fact: you actually pay more taxes than the president.
All right. So that's basically that. If you guys also want to know an extra prize, that the top 10 people get to go to the advanced speech practice class, where you get to kind of go with other advanced speakers, and kind of it's like a bit more competitive of a practice class, but we're also a lot more kind of getting to know each other. So it's a lot more like you get to make a lot more friends there, and you get to compete with more and more skilled contestants. So you kind of get there. Okay, so that is our last slide. We should get going because we don't have too much time. Okay, so now we have a demonstration from me. So my topic for today is another quote. With confidence, you will have won before you have started. Okay. So I will do this. I will try to adjust my video so you guys can actually see hand gestures and such. Okay, I will lower the camera.
Andy, your video is off.
Yes, okay, I'll turn it on right now. Okay. I'll also make it big because in the recording, we want it to be good. All right.
Your
There.
virtual background's kind of annoying.
Yeah, sometimes it is, but a lot of people think it's a bit more professional, and I think I will just keep on using it though. So I can start with my speech topic in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. In one of my first speech contests, I met two people. One was a confident guy. He would go into the participation room with a smile on his face, with his boots secured tight, and with very humorous jokes. The other guy was a new contestant. When he went in a room, he kind of frowned because of his nervous. I could see his papers shaking. I could see his feet shaking in his boots. He was nervous. He was not confident. And in the end of that tournament, guess who won? The confident person won, and we can see why confidence is so important. So how can we become more confident? And what effect does confidence have on our lives? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andy, and today my topic is a quote from Marcus Garvey: "With confidence, we have won before we have even started." So on to the first question. How do we become more confident? What is the cause of confidence? Well, I'll ask you all a question. When were you the most confident, the most prideful of yourself, when you had the most glory? I want to ask you, when was that moment? What were the experiences around you? What were you doing? What was the environment around you? One of the most confident periods in my life is answering math questions on the board. And when I analyze the things around me, when I analyze what I was doing, I can pick out things that make people confident. The first thing you want to do is to identify goals. What do you want to do? What do you want to strive towards? It can be small, like solving a math question, or it can be big, like changing the world. The second thing is to build skills. The more you know, the more confident you are. The more you can do, the more confident you are. The third thing is to identify strengths and weaknesses, to strengthen your strengths and to suppress the weaknesses, so you will become more confident. And last but not least is to make social connections. Because if you fail or you're not good enough, you keep on telling yourself, your family, your friends, your socially connected people will boost you up and support you and your self-confidence. And that is how we can become more confident. That is the cause of self-confidence. And now to the second question: how does self-confidence help us in real life? The effect is this. Imagine a person who had no self-confidence, and they were faced with perhaps a very hard math question. They would say, nah, this is not for me. I won't do good anyway, so why bother? If a person has very good self-confidence, they will know that they are capable and that they will strive, they will set goals, they will build their skills, they will strengthen their strengths, they will suppress their weaknesses, and they will build social connections. Because when they have that confidence, they will become better. And when they become better, they will become more self-confident. And this skill of identifying goals, building skills, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and building those social connections will impact their whole lives. So that is, of course, a good thing. And the last thing I want to talk about is how can we promote people to become self-confident? If you become self-confident, people around you will become more self-confident. It's just like if you are happy, people around you will become happier. If you're self-confident, people around you will become more self-confident. So your choice of promotion of self-confidence is to take initiative. Take initiative and be the self-confident guy, and people will take suit. In conclusion, the person with confidence had won. But in the next 3 years, that newcomer had learned. That newcomer had stopped being nervous. In fact, that newcomer was me. I used to not be so good, but this year he won first because he had learned self-confidence. Thank you. Okay. So,
It's a good ending to
Wow.
yeah. So, that's a more or less true story. Maybe a bit exaggerated, but
Yeah, I could probably tell.
right. But so basically that's confidence. Just a few things I want you guys to note. Memorable, 2 prominent examples of the speech contest and the math one. A few theoretical examples and some smaller logical ones. Hopefully there was a concept of the quote, which is just with self-confidence. You have won before you've started. Yeah. All right. So that was my speech. Hopefully you guys can learn something from it. But otherwise, we will get started with people's speech. Okay, so today we are only actually going to be doing 4. So because I want you guys to kind of have time for game without going overtime. So we're only doing 4, although you have a choice of 5. And of course, we're going to be using the random number picker for them. So this is the list of the people and your guys's numbers, and I will choose the random number generator. So it's up to 20. All right. Okay, so number 3, Evan, do you want to go first today?
First?
Yes, Evan, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
All right, sure. Enthusiastic, love it. Second, 16. Alexis, would you like to go second today?
Yes, please.
All right, nice. Okay, Alexis, second today. Another number 8. Sarah, would you like to go third today?
Yes, please.
Excellent, wonderful.
Is 20 people going to be presenting?
No, just 4 today. What? Number 18. Would Cynthia like to go fourth today?
Sure.
All right, so nice. Everybody accepted their positions nicely. All right. So here is our speaker list today, from first to last speaker. So basically that here are our topic list. If you guys want to take a picture of that, so I'll give you 1 minute to kind of think about it.
Can I do number 4?
Number 4. All right, being mindful. Nice. Okay. All right. And for this, since it was kind of random, I'll just do first come, first serve. So once you decide to just yell it out, and yeah, you're going to be the first one to do that. Okay, so Cynthia wants number 5, which is being informed. Sure, I can grant that wish.
Andy, can I have number 2?
1 or 2?
Can I have number 1?
Oh, okay, so I guess I'll have Alexis have 2, and I'll get Sarah have number 1. All right. All right. So. Okay, cool. That's our topics for today. I think you guys should remember it. If you guys don't think you guys can remember such a big quote, then please do take a screenshot. But otherwise, I'll start your 5 minutes for your preparation starting now. So you can see the timer here on the tab page where I'm kind of waving my cursor right now. So you can see the time from there, and I'll just switch to this page.
French fries.
All right, so that is preparation time. I will trust that you guys will not prepare during other contestants' speeches. So we'll have our first speaker for today, which is Evan. Go when I click start. So Evan, your topic was being mindful. Okay, so Evan, you can start your speech in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Um, One day when I was in a big argument with my friends, I got really mad and I was screaming and yelling and doing other things like that. After that argument, I went home and was still so stressed and mad, but I didn't know how to stop the anger and stress in me. So I decided to practice mindfulness and it worked. I wasn't so mad anymore and I was very calm. From then on, whenever I got into big arguments or fights, I would just practice mindfulness and keep on doing it until I calmed down. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Evan, and my topic today is being mindful. Being mindful can benefit in many ways, but the most important about it is that it can reduce a lot of stress. Practicing mindfulness can also improve your life and it can benefit a lot of things. Like pretend if you are really mad and sad, just practice breathing techniques and just calming strategies, which is being mindful. Many people have nightmares. Many people have nightmares, and whenever you have one, you should always practice being mindful because then it can help you become calm and your heart rate will reduce by a lot. Thank you for listening to my speech about why being mindful can actually help you from getting really bad situations.
All right, so excellent speech, Evan. I think that you took a really unique take on this topic, which is to be mindful of your own emotions. So excellent work with that. You had an amazing first example. And for these things, I want to kind of just highlight. It's going to be mostly positive feedback because I just want to highlight how much you've grown. So Evan, I think that you've grown quite a lot with your examples. So when at the start of these classes, I could see that you had perhaps a little bit more trouble kind of being open with kind of like personal examples. But I think that since then you've grown quite a lot with these examples. You've given more and more shocking personal stories. So excellent work with that. You've gotten very good with organization, with coming up with a good format and kind of implementing that in your speeches. So very well done with that. And finally, I think that you were always good with presentation, but it came through in the end that you improved a little bit by a little bit. So excellent work with that presentation skills. It's very well done, because presentation is one of the most important things in impromptu, because it is more of a inspirational type of speech type. So that extra presentation of just being relaxed and having that casual, more relaxed tone can be very beneficial. So excellent work. You've improved a lot and continue growing. So yeah, thanks for coming to these classes, Evan. All right, so our second speaker for today will be Alexis with the quote about deciding to be. Okay, so when I click start, Alexis, you can start speaking in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
So there was once this boy named Ed, and he had decided that when he grew up, he wanted to be a doctor. And his parents liked that idea, so they let him. So Ed studied hard, and in the end, he became a well-respected doctor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alexis, and today my topic is the only person you are destined to be is the person you decide to be. Quoted by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And my reason for this is that if you know what you want to become and you work really hard for it, then your dream will come true. Just like Ralph Emerson said, the only person you are destined to be is the person you decide to be. Just like Ed had decided that he would be a doctor, and he knew that he wanted to be a doctor. He worked really hard for it, and he became a doctor. Now, let's imagine two girls. One girl didn't know what she wanted to be, but the other girl wanted to be, let's say, a nurse. And in the end, do you know what happened to these two girls? Well, the one that wanted to become a nurse eventually did become a nurse. But the one that didn't know what she wanted to be grew up to be a housewife. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just looking at this example, you can see that the girl that knew she wanted to become a nurse had a much better future. On the other hand, the girl that didn't know what she wanted to be grew up not helping to support her family. And after they grew up, their futures were very different, right? So, if you were like the girl that wanted to be a nurse, and you decided on what you wanted to be, and you worked hard and strived to be like that, then you would achieve your goal. So overall, I truly believe that just like Ralph Emerson said, The only person you are destined to be is the person you decide to be. Thank you.
All right, Alexis, amazing speech. So one of the things that I find most intriguing about your speeches is the not only that you do use personal examples, but you use them to a good effect. So I think that you also built upon this skill throughout these classes, which I think is amazing, because stories which are nice, but stories that shock are truly what makes things memorable instead of just making it interesting. So excellent work with kind of making those stories shocking, making those comparisons shocking. Especially, I love the ones about one being one that wanted to be a nurse and the one that wanted to not sure what she wanted to be, but ended up being a housewife. So I think that was more of a shocking comparison, and that kind of grasped people's minds. So I think you really learned to become more memorable and to become more stressing on your words and to learn to use that inspirational format to its greatest potential. So excellent work, Alexis. Thank you for participating through these classes and keep on growing. All right.
Thank you for the feedback.
Yes, you're completely welcome. All right, so our third speaker for today is Sarah, with the ancient Indian proverb about things that may catch the eye, but only pursue the things that catch your heart. Okay, so Sarah, thank you for turning on your video, and we can start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
What you see might be something very pretty, something very expensive. But what you feel is really you and matters more. Hello everyone, my name is Sarah, and today I'll be talking about certain things can catch your eye, but pursue only those that capture the heart. So what does this mean? This means that you should, because your eye can be fooled easily, it can be distracting you. However, your heart can only be persuaded. Let's say there is a sale and you find two things. You find a box full of jewelry and you find a pretty wristband that you feel you would love. Which one do you choose? If I was going to choose, I would choose the wristband. Because the jewelry might be something that you like with your eyes, but the wristband is something that your love on it could last longer. Let's take another example. Let's say you have a job. There is one job. It is you get a high pay. It is in a very good location and it's a very fancy building. Versus something that you really want to do, such as a marine biologist. Which one would you do? I would probably be doing the one that I would choose more, because no matter how much high pay you get, it would never beat how much love that you put into the job that you really want to do. What about friendship? Let's say you're at school and you see two girls. One girl, she's very pretty. Her parents buy her whatever she wants. And there's another girl. She's very kind and she's not that rich. Who would you want to be friends with? I would be choosing the girl that may not be having that much money. Because if you look at the girl that gets everything she wants, she might look like she has a bad temper. She may be someone that likes to look at her friends in a very disapproving way. However, the other one, maybe she is very kind and she would be a good friend. So this is the 3 reasons why certain things can catch your eye, but pursue the things and only those that capture the heart. So I want you to go home and think about this. Have I ever went to get something that caught my eye and left out something that persuaded my heart? Think about it, and maybe you will find that if you did the ones that captured your heart, your items may be much more better. Thank you, and that is my speech.
All right. So excellent work, Sarah. So from the start of these classes, I noticed that you are exceptionally good with presentation and storytelling. So at the start, you gave us wonderful stories that were very interesting. But I think that one of your greatest improvements was core concepts, not only for your entire speech, but for those stories as well. So you've added a lot of deep meaning throughout your entire stories, such as the one about your bracelet versus that jewelry. So a lot of people might go with the jewelry, but the true meaning of this kind of relates back to the topic, and that's one of the best things to be memorable about. So that's one of the biggest memorable things. Another one would be like the friend. Which friend would you choose? That's also very memorable because it's very deep, and you kind of explain the meaning of this like later. So that's kind of one of the biggest impacts. And speaking about impacts, you make people affected, especially at the end with the call to action. So excellent work with that. I've seen you grow throughout these classes with the different organizational formats. So there was a time where a lot of people only use the topical format, but now I can see people using all different types of format, being more free with the PS format, the PSV, PCS. Some people may even using pros and cons. So excellent work with that. So truly, Sarah, I think that you have grown a lot, and yeah. So thank you for being part of these classes, and keep growing. All right, excellent speech. All right, your speeches are wonderful. Our last speaker for today is Cynthia with staying informed. Okay. So, Cynthia, if you want to turn on your video, as you all already have, I see, with the topic staying informed, you can start your speech in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Have you ever been in a situation where you zoned out? Well, think about what will happen. During the time you're zoning out or you're daydreaming, the teacher could easily call on you and you'd get embarrassed. Or you're in the sports team and the ball goes at you and it hits you. And your teammates won't really be happy in you because they just gave you an opportunity, but you missed it. Well, today I'll be talking about staying informed. Well, and the 3 topics I'll be talking about is how it helps in schools, relationships, and sports. Schools. Well, if you stay informed, what will it help? It will help you get a better grade. And how will that do so? Well, my friend's dad, while he was younger and while he was in his childhood, he wouldn't really listen in class. He was always thinking about something else, thinking about what he'd eat for dinner, thinking about what game he should play after school, thinking about when he should call his friends at home. And that resulted him to get a bad grade. And he wasn't happy. And his parents weren't happy for him either. They were quite disappointed in him. So he decided to make a change. He decided that he shouldn't keep on daydreaming and that won't get him anywhere. So he planned things out. First, he planned on maybe thinking about the teacher, and if you start daydreaming again, then think about the teacher again. And slowly he think about more and more ideas to help him. And then he succeeded. He got better and better grades. And he got the class top. And well, that resulted my friend to his dad from China to come to Canada, and I met my friend. My second topic, it helps in relationships. Well, I had a friend. Every time I talked to her, she was always really fidgety. She'd always look somewhere else or always touch her hands, and she'd never look at me. And I didn't really like that. And I just felt like she wasn't listening to me. So one day I asked her, why do you not want to listen to me? Is it because my conversation is boring? And well, she said, no, I just have that habit. And well, then I realized, oh, okay. But then I realized that I didn't really like talking to her since that habit annoyed me. And every time I talked to her, she'd always fidget around, and I felt like talking to thin air. Third topic, sports teams. Imagine if you are in a sports team. Would you want to help your players and always be focused, or would you think about, what should I eat for dinner tonight? Oh, I wonder what I got for the test today. And well, you know the result. The result might be that your teammate passes you a ball and, well, the enemy takes it because you weren't paying attention. Or maybe you were the goalie and the enemy goals and, well, you missed it and because you weren't staying informed. And to conclude this, I would like to say that I understand that some people have habits of fidgeting and some people have habits of just like thinking. And I don't blame you guys, but I think the best solution to help you is if you actually think about what if you focus. If you focus, think about the outcomes. Think about the good things that can happen. And maybe that will help you even try to focus even more. Thanks for listening.
All right, so Cynthia, thank you for presenting our final speech for our classes tonight. So that concludes our entire participant speeches for this entire semester. So thank you guys all. So some feedback for Cynthia. I think that you do very wonderfully with kind of the logical aspect of things. Now, at the start, it was kind of outbalanced, like you kept on using logic without too much balancing it, but I think throughout these classes you've truly learned to kind of balance it out and gone to the more inspirational part with logic and stuff, with more personal stories, with different kind of morals, with different theoretical examples, personalized things. So you truly became a more inspirational speaker rather than a logical one. So I think that's one of the biggest improvements, and that's a big area for growth. I think another thing that you've done very well throughout the years was also using different types of the rhetorics, right? So ethos and logos particularly. So at the start, even though you may have not known what ethos was, you kept on applying it, trying to make the audience know that you are a credible person. And once you have learned that, you truly even expanded and strengthened that already strengthened skill. So very well done with your speeches, Cynthia. Thank you for coming to these classes, and keep growing. All right, wonderful speech, Cynthia. Wonderful speech, Sarah. Wonderful speech, Alexis. And wonderful speech, Evan. So, thank you guys all for listening to these speeches. We can finally progress with our final part of our speeches today, with our speech class today, which is going to be our game. So,
Wait, I didn't hear. Are we still gonna have a class on Sunday?
this is our final class for Wednesdays, but we are still going to have our final speech practice classes.
Okay.
So we won't. So we won't have any classes forever.
All that talk about wondering what's for dinner made me hungry.
Nice.
We won't have any classes forever now.
No, we will still
There'll
have.
be no more of this class.
No more of this class, yes. But we will try to restart the semesters, and there will be a similar class to this in the near future. So
When's the tournament?
the tournament is on next Monday. Yes, it should be on next Monday. So please do practice in front of the mirror for impromptu, because this is quite important. So
Is next Monday on like the Thanksgiving?
Aurora, sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Is next Monday on Thanksgiving?
Yes, it is. So some of you might not have enough time for that, but hopefully you guys can make it. All right, so a lot of people have suggested playing the Cellar game in chat, and since it is our last class and it's the game period, I will turn on chat for you guys to kind of just socialize with everybody.
What's the Cellar game?
The Cellar game is basically where I give you a trashy item and you spend 1 minute to kind of present reasons why it is like very good.
How trashy.
What the heck?
Someone
Why?
So I can give you like a bag without handles and you have to explain why it's very good for selling.
But not all bags have handles.
Oh, I got an idea. I could put it on my head as a Halloween costume.
Nice. All right, so you guys can now basically just, you can fool around. We can afford to be a bit more chill since it's the game period now. All right, so we are playing the Cellar game, and if anybody does not want to participate, please do say so in chat.
I want to participate. And
Okay,
why did
yes.
Jeremy do what?
Okay, so
People are annotating.
yeah, it's completely fine because it's now the game period. We can afford to kind of sit back and relax. If people think that this is too much, and it is, you guys are free to leave if you guys truly want to, but I would stick around for the game. So if people who are leaving, thank you guys so much for coming to these classes. Thank you guys for attending these classes for all the different things we've learned, and I hope you've learned quite a lot. All right.
Why did you give me like a bag of trash and I have to explain why it's so good?
Don't worry. Okay, so Ethan, if you want to participate, your item for today will be a keyboard without labels, so you can't see which button's A or B or C. James, your item for today is going to be a USB that, actually, I'll say that for another, maybe a ruler without markings. Evan, yours is going to be a USB that can't fit.
What? I want to say.
Okay, all right. Jerry, yours is going to be a book without pages, but with the cover. ID, yours is going to be a computer that is broken. Luke, yours is going to be a balloon that never fills up. Kelly, yours is going to be some non-sticky tape. Sarah, yours is
Wait,
going
are
to
we
be...
playing hot air balloon?
We're playing the seller game.
Wait, so I'm a broken USB stick, right?
Yes, and you're going to try to sell that broken USB
What
stick.
about me?
Hot air balloon.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna keep on going down the list. Okay, Sarah, yours is going to be a pencil. Okay, pencil lacking lead. Jeremy, yours is going to be a plank of wood. Tyler, yours is going to be a tissue that is torn.
Wait, Andy, can I go first, please?
We're just gonna go with the orders of the numbers. So Ethan, then James, and Evan. So yeah.
Please. I request.
Just we'll just keep to this order.
I can only think of one thing.
Okay, so Aurora, yours is going to be a annoying brother. Lucas's yours is going to be an annoying sister.
Wait, what the? No, that's not fair.
Okay. Ethan, yours is going to be a broken elastic band. Bevis, yours is going to be a hole puncher. That's dull. And Tiani, yours is going to be a cover without words. Alexis, yours is going to be a expired milk. I know we've done that already with other classes, but that's fine. Cyrus, yours is going to be an exposed wire. Cynthia, yours is going to be a crumpled paper. Nancy, yours is going to be a soap bar that's dirty. And Raymond, yours is, last of all, Raymond, yours is going to be a
So we just
table without legs.
So we just say we just try to sell it to you. We just say the good things about it.
Yes.
Andy, can I go after Lucas?
Sure. Okay, so I guess since we are good with
first.
Sorry? Okay. So I guess now I'll just send this in chat. And we'll give everybody I think since like we don't have much time, I guess I'll just give everybody 30 seconds to kind of present. Okay, so I'll share my screen for this, so I'll go back to our timer. 0, 0, 0, 0, 3, 0. Okay, so we'll have, I'll pull up the list here. Ethan, why you're gonna go first? Why should we buy a keyboard without labels?
Okay, so you can use a I'm selling a keyboard without labels, And with this keyboard, you can practice remembering all the letters on your keyboard. Type faster. Now buy it, please.
All right, so that's his pitch. Okay, James, why should we buy a ruler without markings?
If you don't buy this ruler slash a best ruler, why am I selling it? Why I'm selling it is it's because if you have a cow or a horse and you want to ride it, you can use the ruler to hit your cow or horse.
Nice.
So it could be faster.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nice. All right, good pitch.
That is the most abusive thing I've ever heard.
Nice. Okay.
That's
so
literally animal abuse.
What do you say?
Okay, so we'll have our final vote at the end, but right now it is Evan's turn with a USB that can't fit. Okay, we can start now.
Andy,
You should get my USB that can't fit because, I mean, it's still a USB. If it can't fit, then maybe it can fit into another one, and you can use it. And it's also really useful to store all your really useful stuff, whatever. And a USB, if you don't want it, you can just break it in half and eat it if you want.
Oh, nice. Okay, like a midnight snack.
Andy,
All right.
Can you choose like which one you want to buy? Like a few.
Yeah, I think at the end since
That is disgusting.
All right. So, next we'll have Jerry with a book without pages starting now. Jerry? Does not look like we have Jerry then. All right. So, ID with a computer that is broken.
Why should you buy this computer even though it doesn't work? It's no big deal. You can just try to fix it or call a random guy or call someone. I don't know what it's called. You can use it as a prop for place, and you can use the items to make something new, you dumbass.
Whoa there. Okay. So,
Buyers be like,
perhaps aggression is not the best strategy here, but anyways, next we have Luke with a balloon that never fills up with air.
I got a balloon that could not fill with air. Quite interesting, right? Well, first of all, why would you buy it? Maybe because you could turn it into a glove somehow. Okay, you put a stick your hand into it. You got a really big balloon so you can shape it into a glove somehow. Or maybe you just want random pieces of plastic for no reason. To throw in the fire for no reason. You could cut off the piece of thing at the bottom and you could throw it into the fire if you want to for some reason.
All right, quite an interesting take of a big balloon. All right, interesting. Okay, next we'll have Kelly with non-sticky tape. Starting now.
You can use non-sticky tape for choking people. If you're walking on the street by yourself and then you see someone going behind you and they try to grab you, you can take the tape, wrap it around their neck and try to choke them and they will probably run away. Another thing they could use non-sticky tape for is that you could replace it for if your friend has a roll of tape, you can replace it with that non-sticky tape and you can prank them, I guess, and then they'll be very mad at you, but it's worth it. And you can also use non-sticky tape for measuring, I guess, or making a line straight. If it's like one of those like plastic tape, you can use that. You could just draw like, I don't know, centimeters on it. And yeah, that's my speech.
All right, so a little bit over time there, but a good pitch. All right, so next,
if you try to choke someone with tape, that wouldn't be very nice, would it?
Right. So questionable pitching strategy there, but nonetheless effective. Next we'll have Sarah with a pencil lacking lead.
Okay, so let's say that you are thinking of the world's best April Fool's joke. So let's say you find this very, very beautiful pencil box, and then you put my pencil lacking lead inside it. Give it to a friend, and they will say, "Gee, thanks," and they will use it. And then as soon as they use it, they start gasping. It is having no lead. But then they remember that it's April Fool's Day, and they burst out laughing.
All right, nice. A prank kit for an aspiring prank artist. Nice. Okay, so next we'll have Jeremy with a simple plank of wood. Starting now.
Have you ever thought that when your mother or father's birthday or some for the holiday, you don't have anything to give to them, and you feel very ashamed of yourself? Well, this plank of wood is literally the best option there is in the world. You can saw it up and then kind of make letters and then put it up in a frame and send it to them. I promise you that everything you handmade will be the best thing, and I promise you that they will be very surprised.
All right, very interesting. So using it as a gift, nice. Okay, next we have Tyler with a tissue that is torn. Starting now. Does not look like Tyler's with us today.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
A tissue. I basically wait. I forgot how to do this.
Okay, that's. Oh, okay.
Why was Tyler an angel?
Okay, it's fine. All right. Well, I guess we'll just move on then. Let's have Aurora with Annoying Brother. Starting now.
First of all, why would anyone want an annoying brother? So first of all, what you can use the annoying brother for, you can force them to do lots of work that you don't like. Second of all, you can use them as a punching bag. Third of all, you can give it to your first, and then third of all, you can give it to your kids, and then you'll have the awesome option of yelling at them, because it's very, very satisfying. Thank you.
Nice. All right. Okay, let's see Lucas' response with an annoying sister. Starting now.
This annoying sister I can do whatever I want to her, and I can push her off the sled and use her as a lamp for fun. Thank you for listening. I know that was very short, but yeah, this is the best I can do. So yeah, bye 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 bye.
Okay, nice. All right. So next we'll have Ethan W with a broken elastic band.
You should buy my broken elastic band because you can whack people with it. Stretch it up, make it stiff, tape it, and then it'll be a lasso. And then you can also stretch it. Very satisfying. Tell this person, try and fix this elastic band. They try and stretch it. Boom! They got hit in the hand. Wah, 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 they go.
All right. So, very nice pitch, but questionable methods. Okay, so next we'll have Bevis with a hole puncher that is dull. Starting now.
Okay, my hole puncher is basically free. It's just 1 cent. You can pretty much sharpen it with some sharpening kit that's probably out there, or you could disassemble it to make to get like parts for like your other broken hole punchers. And it's only slightly dull, so you could still probably hole punch quite a few papers with it. So you should buy it. It's only 1 cent. It's free spare parts. You can sharpen it, and yeah.
All right, very nice. Very logical. Very good reason. Next we'll have Tiani with a book cover without words. Starting now.
You should buy my book cover without words because even though it doesn't have words, it might be like useful information on the inside.
Very nice. Think outside the box. All right, next we'll have Alexis with expired milk. Starting now.
You should buy my expired milk as a trick or a prank for your parents. Pour the expired milk into a perfume bottle. Go up to your parents and say, "Here, can you smell my lovely perfume?" Then spray it into their face, and then they're gonna start yelling at you, and then you have to run away.
Nice. Another prank kit as expired milk should be. Nice. All right. So next we'll have Cyrus with an exposed wire starting now. Looks like Cyrus is not with us today. That's fine. Next we will have Cynthia with crumpled paper starting now.
Crumbled paper. It can help you start fires when you don't have much wood with you anymore. And if you're feeling angry, just rip the paper, crumble the paper, throw the paper, do whatever you want with the paper, since it's useless anyways. And for the paper, you can draw on it if you're super bored. And it's just blank paper, but it's just crumbled. And maybe you won't like it anyways, so it'll end up being trash anyways. Thanks for listening.
All right, very nice. So a few swords, a stress kind of thing, and just a normal sheet of paper. Nice. Okay, excellent. Next we'll have Nancy with a dirty soap bar starting now.
Dirty soap bar is because you can just wash it off. Or if you're super bored and have nothing to do at home because you're stuck in quarantine for some weird reason, you could just carve it up and bam, you got some new cool soap thing. You can also prank it by getting a actual white mouse and carving one and giving your parents the actual one. And then bam, they just got pranked.
All right, another prank.
Nice speech.
All right, nice mic you have there. All right, so very good, Nancy. A prank and a tool, a kit for a prank, and also very practical. All right, last but not least, we have Raymond with a table without legs, starting now.
You should buy my table without legs, since if you have extra legs from your other broken tables, you can just flap them on, and you can just like put the table without legs on the floor and then use it like as a mattress.
True, yeah. Okay. So very, very logical. A new table if we have it. All right, so that is that. We're not gonna do voting because that might take a bit long, but I will kind of post a form in the classroom later so you guys can vote for the game finally. But thank you guys all for coming to these 10 classes of
thank you too.
All right, so thank you guys all for coming. We will be seeing you in the next semesters or the practice classes. If not, I will hope that you guys will do well with your future endeavors. And yeah, keep on growing, keep on learning, keep on exploring. And thank you guys all for coming. Thank you very much.
Bye. Also, Evan, can you stop saying random?
Adios.